morning, everyone. It is 8 o'clock in New York City. It is 5 a.m. in Los Angeles, where the Blue Jays whooped the Dodgers. Took us last night. Only 9 innings this time, thank God. So we all went to bed at a normal hour here on the East Coast. So otherwise, welcome to the Mayday Morning Show in what we'll gently call a diplomatic stroll. 79-year-old Donald Trump has was shown around a formal reception room by Japan's new prime minister during a visit to Tokyo's Akasaka Palace. I hope I'm saying that right. At 79, Trump appeared visibly disoriented at Kishida, Japanese words. I hope I'm saying that right too. Gently guided him around the palace, pointing out where to stand, when to move, and even what direction to face for photos. And the cameras caught Trump hesitating, glancing around the room and needing quiet prompts from aides before following Kishida's lead. It was a rare sight. Was it? Was it rare? The self-proclaimed alpha being shepherded like a lost guest at a wedding reception. Julie, if this had been Joe Biden, Jake Tapper would have been signing a new book deal already.
Wall coverage on CNN about how out of it Joe Biden is. But here is I don't know if people saw this, but it was, you have this brand new prime minister in Japan. She's a woman, which is fantastic. I mean, she's been there for like a week, literally.
Yeah.
And she has to deal with this nutbag showing up on her shores, who, of course, wants to meet the emperor because he's all about royalty.
Yep.
So they roll out the red carpet for him with the emperor, and the emperor pull the emperor out to meet Trump. And he's so disoriented.
Yeah.
Like, where am I? Who am I? Now, look, they're, I think, 12 hours ahead of us here.
Yeah.
So if you've ever been to Asia, I've never been to Japan, hope to go very soon. But if you've ever been to Asia, like, your entire body clock is completely messed up.
Totally. I get it. However, he's been there for
So, like, it's insane. And then he goes to South Korea and they roll out, they give him like chocolate, like they give him gold embossed brownies. What? Like something you'd serve at Mar-a-Lago. Like, they're clearly trying.
Right.
Like,
I mean, they're like, oh, he likes gold. We'll give him gold, everything.
Like,
and then
gold
he
wrote, it's great.
He wrote this on Truth Social last night. This is all, listen, Donald Trump is not well. He's not well physically. He's not well mentally. He's also just a tyrant and an asshole and a bad person. But on top of that, unwell. So he truthed this last night. For those that are asking, we didn't come to South Korea to see Canada. What?
What? And I mean, again, if this were Joe Biden, they would be getting out the gurney.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be getting out the
Joe Biden is dead. He's like weekend at Bernie's, blah, 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 blah. And oh, sorry, go ahead.
Where are you, mainstream media? Where are you? Because this should be wall to wall.
Where are they? They're too busy hosting Stephen Miller's wife on panels on CNN is what they're doing, which did happen last night. And she is a horrible person. But things have been so heavy that I'm actually a little grateful for the levity of how ridiculous this is. I mean, listen, it's scary. It's terrifying. He's got the nuclear codes, whatever. It's also funny. So here's the clip of him walking around. Oops. OMG. And there's the other angle.
First of all, he can't
walk. No, there's definitely something going on. During the campaign, he was dragging one of his legs, like for sure, visibly dragging a leg. But of course, no one cares because Joe Biden has a stutter and he's old too. And, yeah. And Kamala Harris could probably run 5 miles in It doesn't matter. But anyways, so there's that. But I do want to just show what the Daily Show did, because this actually our friend Ryan at the Daily Show, who's been there for many, many years. The second I heard it, I was like, oh, that's Ryan's voice. He wrote this and put this together. It's very funny. I texted him last night and he was like, once he walked around the corner like that, he looked like a show dog. And I needed to make something about him being a show dog.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Wait, hold on.
Introducing one of the favorites of tonight's show, the old American beaver hound.
He is in the care of expert handlers Sanai Takaichi.
Lively, aggressive, and incredibly horny, the beaver hound is especially popular among rural white families.
That's right, and judges tonight will be looking for the hallmarks of a good beaver hound. Strong veneers, girthy cankles.
Oh, whoops. It looks like he's wandered away from his handler. That's going to cost him some points.
Okay, he looks like he's back on track now. Excellent form on that turn.
The beaver hound's golden mane is glistening.
Indeed, and now one final trick. A leap onto the platform. And... nailed it! Wow!
What a performance by the old American beaver hound.
Oh my God. And it's like, so it's so funny because I texted my other friend Nat. They were like, I always go to them because I'm like, if I need an idea or if I need help
So
with
Matt,
an
just
idea.
to clarify for people, Matt works at the Daily Show also.
So Matt was in it, and so I was like, I was like, I want to make a video about Trump, like this thing with in Japan, and like, he can't speak well. I was like, I want to do something that someone else hasn't done yet.
Right.
Like, what do I do? And then I opened my phone like an hour later or whatever, and I saw this, and I texted Ryan, and I was like, God damn it. I was like, this is good. He was like, thanks.
So good. So good. Not a 10 out of 10 because he wandered away from his handler.
Right.
Probably more like a 6 out of 10, but still better than average.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. I mean, what are we? Listen, we laugh about this.
You have to.
But what can you say? I mean, these people are crazy because, as we've talked about before, Donald Trump can literally faceplant. Remember when George Bush, the first George Herbert Walker Bush?
Yeah, didn't he like throw up or something?
Yeah, he threw up in Japan. And it was right before the election in '92. And everybody went nuts. And I don't know if it cost him the election. It obviously didn't. We had a recession at the time.
And Ross Perot,
but it didn't help, right? And I remember this so well because I was 19 years old and I was really starting to pay attention to politics. Wall to wall coverage. We didn't have Fox, we didn't have MSNBC back then, but CNN, all the newspapers, it was like the biggest news. Great, okay, he had a stomach bug, he threw up.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
Big deal. This guy is walking around. Like I used to do this. When I was watching this, Michelle, I thought about back to like when my son was like 3 or 2.
Yeah. And you just walk behind the toddler.
You're like, come on.
Right.
No, don't wander away. Come on. We got to keep going. You're all in.
Come on. One foot in front of the other. You got this.
You're like, damn it. Like, just get with the program and get to where we're going. Why is it taking us 20 minutes to get somewhere where it should take 5? But that's exactly it. It's like, come on. And that's what I watched that and I was like, oh my God, I'm having flashbacks to being the mom of a toddler, which by the way, I only have one for a reason, but like,
right.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And I don't understand why and like, it's so baked in for mainstream media. Like I remember an interview with Jake Tapper and Tim Miller. And Tim Miller was asking him, why aren't you doing stuff on Trump being about Biden? And he said, well, that's like a different wing of the hospital. Trump's always been this way. It's not like he's cognitively been worse than he was before. So we're excusing bad behavior. So if you've always been out of your mind, you don't cover it because it's so baked in. Like I thought that was the biggest self-own I've ever seen ever.
Yeah. I mean, Jake Tapper's all the way gone. He has completely lost the plot. And so on the subject of the mental acuity, okay, there's 2 things. All right. The first one, he had an MRI. He's his new thing. Well, I don't know if it's new, but like he's been doing it pretty often, talking to the gaggle of reporters on Air Force One. So here's the MRI thing.
These readouts from Walter Reed mentioned advanced medical imaging. Did you get an MRI? Can you tell us what that was?
I got an MRI. It was perfect. Yeah.
Can you tell
I
us
mean,
what-
I gave you the full results. We had an MRI, and in the machine, the whole thing,
Yeah.
and it was perfect. Yeah.
Can you say what in particular
Perfect.
they were?
You could ask the doctors. In fact, we have doctors traveling with us, but I think they gave you a very conclusive. Nobody has ever given you reports like I gave you. And if I didn't think it was going to be good, either I would let you know negatively, I wouldn't run,
Sure.
I'd do something. But the doctor said some of the best reports for the age, some of the best reports they've ever seen.
Some of the best reports you've ever seen from an MRI. Okay, you don't go and get just like routine MRIs. That's like not a thing unless you have something wrong and they're looking for something. So there's that. And then he goes right. This is the same thing. He starts talking about a cognitive test, his IQ, and then essentially challenging Jasmine Crockett and AOC to a cognitive contest.
Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person, they have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard, they're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
Okay. So this is important because, first of all, he's going, I mean, this whole thing is just nonsense. Man, woman, camera, TV is now, what
Giraffe,
was this? Tiger, elephant, giraffe. Now, I looked it up. The test that he took was the Montreal cognitive test. That's the one that his doctor said that he gave him, and it's a dementia test. Okay. I went and found this test. This is the test. It is not tiger. It is not elephant. It is not giraffe. It is lion, rhinoceros, and a camel. Now, I don't know if he just doesn't know what zoo animals he's looking at or if there's something bigger going on here. It could be both.
By the way, Michelle, so I just had my annual physical. I
Mm.
did not get an MRI because I don't need one, hopefully. But my doctor did say to me that they are now recommending that anybody over 50, which would be me, should take a dementia test because apparently if you identify signs of dementia early, you can arrest it, right?
Yeah.
Not all the way, but you could treat it. So he said, do you want to take a dementia test? I said, sure. I couldn't do it that day. I was in a rush, but I have to come back like in February and take it.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's actually the real test that people take.
Mm.
It's not that. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's for people who actually have dementia and they want to make them feel good.
I went to the Montreal Cognitive Test website and that's what was there, just to be clear. So
the test that apparently I have to take is on a computer, and it's like, if you take, I don't know if you took your any standardized tests, like after they became computerized, but as you get better, it becomes harder, right? So it's designed to make it harder for you in the sense that if you bomb in the beginning, they kind of make it less hard. But if you do better, it's harder. They want to see exactly how.
I was of the paper days.
Yeah. Exactly. As was I. But this is. I don't know if it's iterative. I don't know what the word is. So the point is, I think if you really take a real test, the less you have cognitive issues, the harder it becomes. That's not that. That is identify the zoo animal. Right? Like that's not making it harder for you if you're mentally well. That's like, okay, you know what? We feel, I don't know why I just gave myself a thumbs up. Okay, if you feel better, like to make you feel better, we're going to give you a test that's going to make you seem like you're not so crazy.
Yeah. Well, and I'm here at this Montreal Cognitive Assessment website again. Now listen, maybe he did take one that had an elephant on it. I don't know. That's not what I'm seeing. But you can look, you can read all about it. You can read about the science behind it, the whole thing. This is the one. It has been reported. His doctor was quoted saying that this was the assessment that he took. Now, You put it all together, okay? This is a broad picture here we're painting that yet again the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about. They don't want to have cognitive experts on. They don't want to have this thing. Have people on who can talk about this. You have people like nuclear experts on to talk about nuclear issues or threats around the world, even though they may not have close up information or experience into the specific matter they're discussing. They can just talk about it as an expert. Why don't they have these people on? I don't understand.
Oh, we should get a neurologist on the show. We're going to do that because
Good. Do I know any? I don't know that I do.
We'll find some. But you got to add it all up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We saw what we saw in Japan. And that's not the first time. That's just the most recent example.
No.
Saw that he can't identify zoo animals properly. Again, he's not an animal guy. I bet you his parents never took him to the zoo.
Oh, God, no.
So it's possible that he's just never been in a position to identify what a giraffe or a camel looks like.
I just find it funny that it's like almost.
Almost
a tiger.
But he also is. We talked about this the other day. He's also a man who has serious Alzheimer's risks.
Oh yeah,
because of his family.
Mm-hmm.
And at which point are you going to admit that this is a man who's 79 years old? My mother's 79. Like,
yeah,
you see the effects, right? You see the rapid fate. And if we're going to say that about Biden, we sure as hell need to talk about it with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Who, by the way, apparently ruled out a third term in Asia because the 22nd Amendment doesn't allow it. But
I have that clip too. But are we talking about that later? I feel like we are. No. I don't remember. I don't know. Anyways, we'll play it later at some point. But I do have that clip as well. And the thing that's funny, if you can find something funny here, the Daily Beast has been reporting on this, and in all the headlines on the Daily Beast, it's Donald Trump 79.
Yeah,
so great.
It's so
that
great.
Is how we should be reporting on this always. And here's Your People magazine. I went and looked at the People magazine. Yep. They reported on this. Donald Trump confuses dementia screening for, quote, very hard IQ test as he brags about results. Now, Julie has talked about this. When it makes it into People, right? It's making it into the nail salons and the waiting rooms and the people maybe who aren't paying attention to politics in the same way that we all are. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
This is a good thing when they report on this.
And read People magazine online, guys, every day. You will see what the vast majority of the country who's not paying attention to this is getting.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
Yep. And AOC very cleverly trolled him by quote tweeting the AOC is low IQ video by saying, "Hello, Mr. President. Out of curiosity, did the doctors ask you to draw a clock by any chance? Was that part hard for you? Asking for 340 million people." Now, they ask you to, I think, draw a clock on these dementia or cognitive tests as well. So, and it did, I'm sure, got under his skin and everything else. But, listen, if we don't laugh, we will cry.
We will cry. And on that note, one more to laugh on about in the next segment.
Yep.
Well, my friends, here's one more headline to laugh about. Speaker Mike Johnson laughed off the fantasy that Donald Trump could be the GOP nominee again in 2028. Johnson said in a press conference that he had, quote, talked with Trump about the legal limits, namely the 22nd Amendment, which bars anyone from being elected president more than twice. And then he bluntly declared, quote, "I don't see a way to amend the Constitution. It takes about 10 years. Meanwhile, Trump is still selling Trump 2028 hats, floating the idea of a third term, and apparently treating the whole thing like performance art, while his own ally says it's not happening. Of course, we all know the minute Donald Trump says it is happening, Mike Johnson will hop to it. Johnson also praised Trump for, quote, trolling Democrats with all the 2028 talk. But Michelle, we know that Trump doesn't troll.
No.
When he tries to go for a third term, is there any doubt that Johnson will be along for the ride?
No, of course he will. Like, hello. He lives inside Donald Trump's colon. Here's the clip of him of him talking about this.
The Trump 2028 cap is one of the most popular that's ever been produced, and he has a good time with that, trolling the Democrats whose hair is on fire about the very prospect. But I do believe that we've got 3 extraordinary years ahead of us, and the 2 years of the Trump administration are going to be an incredible thing. And I don't see a way to amend the Constitution because it takes about 10 years to do that, as you all know, to allow all the states to ratify what 2/3 of the House and 3/4 of the states would approve. So I don't see the path for that, but I can tell you that we are not going to take our foot off the gas pedal. We're going to deliver for the American people, and we've got a great run ahead of us. We'll have 4 strong years. Yes.
Well, it's nice to see George Santos at the press conference. Oh, sorry, that is not George Santos. But let me play the clip of Donald Trump. This is just the audio. I snagged this from Twitter last night.
Says you're trolling when you talk about a third term. Are you trolling or are you serious?
I don't think he said that. I don't think he'd use that term, but it's a very interesting thing. I have the best numbers for any president in many years, any president.
Best.
And I would say that if you read it, it's pretty clear. I'm not allowed to run. It's too bad. I've been stupid.
So, Julie, maybe you can, you're the strategist campaign person. Maybe you can tell me what's going on here. But in my first guess would be that the internals or the polling or something is showing them like, stop talking about this. And so they're trying to do something like, this is freaking people out. Stop it.
I think we're giving him too much credit. I think
Really?
one thing one day and something else the next. And now he basically spoke to somebody who's like, sir, you can't run in 2028. And he's like, oh, okay, let me get that out of my mouth. And then tomorrow he'll talk to Steve Bannon, who's like, oh, no, we have a secret
Right.
plan to have you run in 2028. And he'll be like, I want to run. So the most popular president who's ever lived. Meanwhile,
The best numbers of any president ever. Julie.
numbers are record.
Ever.
Just so you know, the numbers are virtually at January 6th levels. Just
Yeah.
there.
Congress, though, funny, and I don't know if you saw, there's a CNN poll that said that Republican Congress is up a few points.
because the Democratic Congress is not doing anything.
Correct.
But and we can talk about that another time. But, for Johnson, who's like, ha, Trump 2028 most popular cap in the history of like baseball hats. You know what? I think we should have like an abolish the Second Amendment hat. See what happens.
I mean, I'm sure they exist. Yeah.
They probably would not find it so funny when people wear hats that talk about getting rid of amendments, which is effectively what a Trump 2028 hat is.
Yeah.
And the hypocrisy and the self-righteousness from the Keebler elf that you have. I'm gonna lie. The show has a few
Do you
great-
ever notice that when he's like really lying, his face just gets a little flushed? Now, I thought for a while he was
Johnson?
Mike Johnson. Yeah. I mean, the other one, it's hard to see anything underneath the gobs of orange makeup. But no, he gets like extra flushed. Now, I thought for a while he was just wearing rouge, but I don't think he is. I think he's just lying. And his face, like the blood kind of goes to his face and he gets a little pinker.
You think that's the tell?
Listen, maybe it could be. We're going to have to keep looking. But here's the other thing is that there's other Republicans, the other ones that are like, as I say, several French fries short of
A
a
happy.
Happy Meal. Tommy Tuberville of Alabama,
Oh,
CTE patient. I'm going to play a clip from him talking about this. Oops.
Constitutional for President Trump to run for a third term. He's teasing that.
If you read the Constitution, it says it's not. But if he says he has some different circumstances that might be able to go around the Constitution, but that's up to him. We got a long way to go.
But you're open to it.
Well, I think that there's going to have to be an evaluation from President Trump's viewpoint to the Constitution. There'll be a lot of legal aspects to it. Will it happen? It's very unlikely, but don't ever close the book on President Trump.
Jesus H. Christ.
certain things that President Trump has that would go around the Constitution.
Yeah,
Democrat ever said this, you would have
Oh my God.
wall coverage.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
the Republicans would censure him for saying that.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, because everybody knows that Tommy Tuberville is the dumbest doorknob in the world,
Dumb as rocks.
dumb as rocks, everybody's like, oh, again, we give him the Tommy Tuberville grade on a curve, which is what they do with Trump, and say, oh, it's just Tommy Tuberville being a moron. Tommy Tuberville has the same vote that the most smart, the most brilliant person in the Senate has. Right?
Which he used to block all of the promotions for all of the military members last year, basically backing up a whole bunch of stuff. It was awful. He really messed things up for people for a long time.
Yeah. So, why don't we stop grading that moron on a curve? He's a moron.
Right.
There's another senator from Alabama. She's not my cup of tea, but she's not a moron.
Yeah, she's not stupid.
Yeah, she's not stupid. So it's
Katie
not
Britt.
like, but why are we giving this CTE patient, as Michelle calls him, a pass?
Yeah,
right?
he
Like,
needed a better helmet, I think.
maybe he was a good football coach. He doesn't know what the F he's talking about when it comes
No.
to this. And anybody who says that maybe President Trump can figure out a way to go around the Constitution, these are the same people being silent now who I used to sit next to when I was at Fox, who literally would go to their pockets and whip out their pocket Constitution.
Oh, right.
Their little suit pockets. They literally would go into their and rip it out and start waving it around. Where are you? Where are you right now?
This is where I want Democrats to start doing this. This is like, I liken this to the flag and my other flags over here. I liken it to all that stuff because this is all like that Republican performative, ooh, rah, I love America, I'm so patriotic, until there's things that I want. And then maybe I cherry pick things and laws and things in the Constitution that apply to me or don't. And I think the Democrats need to start doing this. Get a little pocket Constitution and carry that shit with you. Put it in your bag, put it in your pocket, and whip that out. Whip it out at parties when people, or whip it out at weddings. I mean, every time I go to a wedding, there's some bumpkin who like tries to tell me that New York City is so dangerous and I don't, this, that, and the other. These people want to like have arguments with us. Okay, come prepared. Come prepared with the pocket Constitution. Be like, you guys aren't the only ones who get to carry these around. We can too. It's all of ours.
Yeah, and the whole thing, if you read the Constitution, do we really believe that Tommy Tuberville has ever so much as seen?
Oh God, no.
Read it?
I don't think. Can he spell Constitution?
I mean, he can read football.
I don't care.
He can read football plays. He doesn't know anything else. The guy got elected because he was apparently a good football coach for football.
They had a good senator for a little while named Doug Jones, who was elected because the other guy was a pedophile. And, when he was up for re-election, they elected this guy because he can run the football. And here we are.
Well, it's, yeah. I mean, I just want these people to stop grading on a curve. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking.
Yeah, stop grading on a curve. Tommy Tuberville is a senator, just like everybody else, just like Cory Booker, just like Kamala Harris was. You need to hold him to the same standard as everybody else. Otherwise, we end up with Donald Trump.
Because I guarantee you that if Cory Booker had said this, or Kamala Harris had said this when she was a senator, or Chuck Schumer had said this, or anybody else in the Democratic side had said, oh my God, if you go around the Constitution, what do you mean?
Right.
You can't go around the Constitution. Heavens to Betsy. No, you can't go around the Constitution, right? That should be an outrageous statement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody, except I think us, Michelle, is talking about this. And again, Tommy Tuberville has a vote. He's a moron, but he votes.
It's right. It's like, and I'll just say this really quick. It's like when the Good Liars or Jordan Klepper or any of these people are going to these MAGA rallies, right? Interviewing people, and they're like, oh, is the earth flat? And they're like, yeah. We have to ask ourselves and ask everybody else, are you going to vote? Because these people are. And the same goes for these senators. They're voting. They have power. So we have to show up. We have to show up and show our power too.
Yep. All right. Let's
just say no to Tommy Tuberville. Speaker Mike Johnson and Michelle's favorite Keebler elf has a message for hungry Americans. Keep starving. He also has a message that he's very, very tired, which we'll play in a second. On a private call with House Republicans Tuesday, Mike Johnson made it very clear that there will be no standalone bill to extend expiring food aid benefits even as the government shutdown edges closer to cutting off assistance for millions of low-income families. Quote, "Things are getting real," he reportedly told his members, urging them to stay united as the economic pain, in his words, quote, "mounts on Democrats." Horseshit. So the plan, apparently, is to let food benefits expire, not to fix it, but to make a point. Let people starve to own the libs. The fallout hits working class Americans, but in Johnson's playbook, that's just leverage. He's just playing the game, baby. What? These people are craven. Never in history, Democrats, Republican presidents, has this ever happened. Ever. And I think I saw a woman who works in a food pantry or kitchen, and she said, for every meal that they can provide, that SNAP and all these other benefits provides 9. Like, there's no way that we, the people, can make up for this. Ever.
9 billion a month.
Yeah.
That's how much it costs for SNAP.
Right.
And the B. And that is what they're cutting. And state that has the most SNAP recipient, the second most SNAP recipients after New Mexico, is the state of Louisiana, which Mike Johnson represents in the House, part of it.
Right. Right.
A lot of his own constituents will be starving. And to understand what we're talking about here, food pantries, as Michelle said, there's just no way they can absorb all the pain. So what we're basically saying is most people on SNAP are disabled and children. Of the people who work, the able-bodied adults, they are white. So this ghetto bullshit that they keep trying to.
Yeah, right. The welfare queen stuff, which is tale as old as time.
The racist whistles that they always try to promote.
Yep.
They're white and they work.
Mm-hmm.
But they work, as we talked about before, in places like Walmart and places like McDonald's.
Did you see Alyssa Slotkin? She said, she goes, "This is not right." She goes, "If these companies have full-time employees and they are not paying them enough to make a living wage to buy food and pay rent and to keep a roof over their head, then those companies should not be eligible for tax incentives."
Yeah.
Because what they're doing is double dipping. They're underpaying their employees and then getting a tax incentive on top of that. And this is corporate welfare on the backs of an American taxpayer. It's not right. It's not fair, and it's inhumane. And I'll say this, like, my mom worked for the Walmart Corporation for a few years. I believe when I was after I was in college. And, my mom did it, just because she wanted to. And it was fun for her, I think, to an extent. And she often told me about the people she worked with who were struggling to make ends meet.
Because, Michelle, the last time that we raised the federal minimum wage in this country was in 2009. 2009. Think about how much inflation has gone up in the intervening more than 15 years, right?
Yep.
And what's awful about this is only 20 states and the District of Columbia have higher minimum wages set by state law, right? That means that the vast majority of the states in this country do not have a federal minimum wage, or do not have a state minimum wage higher than $7.25 per hour. $7.25 per hour.
Unfathomable.
You go to Walmart and you work an 8-hour shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you get less than $200 for the day.
Before taxes.
Before taxes. And then you wonder why these people need food assistance.
Yeah. And then forget healthcare. That's a luxury item at that point. Yeah. Forget maternity leave. Forget childcare.
Yep.
These things, this is the thing, is they want to punish people, especially women. They want to punish women for not having children, and then punish women for having children because you're too stupid to be rich and have children.
Yep.
This is how they see people. And it is the hypocrisy of their rhetoric of how much they love Americans, but they so clearly hate, or they love America, but they hate Americans.
But they hate their own. They hate their own
people.
Right. They hate their own people because when they keep talking about we're standing up for the working man, we're standing up for the working class. this is who they're not standing up for, right?
Bullshit.
Like,
Yeah.
the people who vote, they very much disdain these college-educated coastal elites. But let me tell you something. Those college-educated coastal elites are not the people who need food assistance.
No.
It's their constituents. Or the
Yes.
people they claim to represent.
Mhm.
And the fact that he thinks this is somehow leverage against Democrats, because Democrats have it's not that it's our constituents, because they're his constituents. Again, it was Louisiana, second highest in the nation. So he's not owning Chuck Schumer.
Right.
He is to some extent. Chuck Schumer obviously represents a lot of people who are food assistants.
Sure.
But he's really owning himself more than anybody else, except for New Mexico. And so, but let me just finish this thought.
Yeah, of course. Sorry.
That Democrats have a soul and have a conscience, and that's exactly what they're counting on. The Democrats are going to break. And now you have AFSCME, right? It's a big union that typically supports Democrats, the state worker, the American Federation of State and County Municipal employees, basically the federal government employees and state government employees, who are now calling on Democrats to just cave and reopen the government because their people are suffering. and yet it's the Republicans' constituents who are suffering more.
Yes.
And nobody's calling on them to reopen the government.
No.
Because, again, it's just baked in. Right?
And they've controlled the narrative through this whole thing. This is and we talked about this, was it like a week or two ago, about the $100+ million ad campaign that DHS is doing, and that the all of the federal government websites, you go to them, and I've been doing research for a project right now. I'm having to go to a lot of them right now. I click on them, and what does it say on the front page? This is Democrats have shut down the government. Democrats have shut down the government. And this is where I'm like, where are the Democrats? And we talked about this yesterday too. It's like, where are these PACs? Where are the C4s? Where are these groups with sitting on piles of money that they could put together ads like Canada did with that Reagan ad that caused a big scene? But again, like, that could have been more effective. People don't know unless you tell them. And they're telling everybody that it's Democrats. So they're drinking the sand because they're the only ones talking. I hate to sound like an Aaron Sorkin movie this morning, but it's like, it's true. They're the only ones talking. Democrats aren't. They're talking to the gaggles.
I don't understand.
You have to go out into the world.
I don't understand why Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer don't just demand that their members come back, and they hold a press conference every
day,
saying we are prepared to reopen this government the minute that you extend subsidies for healthcare.
Yes.
And this is the message every single day. You don't need to come up with anything new every single day, because in your district, Mike Johnson, X number of people will lose their healthcare and die. In your state, Senator Thune, X number of people will lose their healthcare and die. And
That's
we
right.
want to prevent that from happening. And the Republicans are all about having that happen.
Exactly.
Have these press conferences every day. Call them back to DC.
Every day. Don't stop. And the thing is, it's like, this is where I'm like, do people think that their health care premiums are going up because the government is shut down? Like, that's the only thing that makes any sense to me right now, because I'm like, this is why. And you have to connect the dots for people. Just really quick before we move on to the next segment, I just want to play this. The premiums for people in Colorado.
Health insurance premiums are about to double for Coloradans on the individual market. The state's insurance division estimates that'll lead to about 75,000 Coloradans losing their health insurance. The state is blaming that increase on congressional Republicans who are not extending tax credits for health insurance. That is the key sticking point in the government shutdown, which is now in its 4th week. The state says that if those credits were to be extended, then Coloradans on the individual marketplace would see average premium increases of 16% as opposed to 100%.
100% increase. This will bankrupt people, and or people are going to die. And I cannot help but think, or maybe I sound like I got a tinfoil hat on and the conspiracies, is that this is the plan. They want people to be sick and suffering and desperate, and so that they commit crimes, and so that they, can arrest more people and lock people up and put people in camps. Like, that's literally all I can think of. And I just don't think that I'm wrong. Maybe not everyone is thinking this, but I do think that the Stephen Millers of the world are.
I think it is in their interest to have people get sick and die, because I think Donald Trump is mad. And not only mad, angry, although he's that
like
too.
he's a madman. Like, yeah,
like he's a madman. And I wrote a whole Substack about this. I feel like every time we talk about something, I'm like, I wrote a whole Substack about this.
You do though. I mean, it's another great resource for people.
But the reality is that he just doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care. And I did write a whole Substack about this, actually. I'm like, what Substack did I write this on? It's actually coming out today on The Banter, not on my Substack.
There you go.
On somebody else's. But the point of what I said is that he's just, he's designing an American hellscape. I don't know how else to put it, where it's by design. It's by design.
Right.
And it's not federal workers who are just going to starve, because on Friday, the Department of Agriculture told states it would not tap its $5 billion contingency reserve to keep food assistance benefits flowing. So, food inflation continues unabated. It's been unabated because of Trump's ridiculous tariffs, which will raise the price of everything from beef to Halloween candy. There's no end in sight to the rising costs.
And the demolition of USAID, which is like, I mean, there's so many layers to this of like food supply and our farmers, and it's from the top to the bottom, they have destroyed everything. And I feel like it's just now that shit is really going to hit the fan. I mean, I think Hoovervilles ain't got nothing on what's coming.
Let me just say this. And this is my view on this. Why would Trump be doing this, right? Because even he must realize that hungrier and sicker people are more likely to die. And I think the answer is pretty simple, Michelle. He just doesn't care.
No, of course
not. Because this is a man who was chauffeured to school in the family Cadillac through the streets of Queens. Then he was chauffeured to work through the streets of Manhattan and Palm Beach as an adult. Now he's chauffeured through the streets of Washington, D.C. as president. He's never actually interacted with people outside those tinted limousine windows, ever.
No.
He'll take their political support and lie that he's fighting for them, but he disdains them. Because he's never, ever had so much as a meal with them. He does not know them. He's never been around them. He's never been around that cashier at Walmart or the guy who's stocking boxes at Amazon warehouses. Ever.
Yep. Wasn't it George Conway's daughter who said that she heard something, or Trump talking about his own people? Isn't there something about that?
Yeah, but he has no remorse, because they're not people he thinks about at all. They don't exist except as a source of votes for him to harvest. So, they're non-existent to him.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
So
absolutely right. Again, Hoovervilles ain't got nothing on what's coming.
They're coming. All right.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready?
So we want to bring you some surprising good news today. According to recent reports from Politico, state-level Republicans in Kansas, Nebraska, New Hampshire, and Indiana are refusing to be bullied into revamping congressional districts for Trump's benefit. These holdouts include Kansas Representative Mark Schreiber, Nebraska Senator Merv Riepke, I think I'm pronouncing that name incorrectly, sorry, Senator, and New Hampshire Governor Kelly Ayotte, all of whom claim mid-decade redistricting should stay tied to the census. Even though Trump has already managed to flip maps in 3 states, which would add 7 Republican-leaning seats, the strategy is losing steam. And lawmakers appear unmoved by threats of primary challenges or, frankly, Kremlin-style pressure. Indiana has faced the most pressure from Trump, but doesn't seem to be budging. And according to officials in Indianapolis, the pressure campaign has been intense. J.D. Vance has already made 2 trips to Indiana, and Trump himself has been working the phones, personally calling hesitant lawmakers to demand a mid-cycle redistricting plan. But despite the full court press, Indiana Senate Leader Rod Bray's office says they still don't have the votes, with about a dozen. That's an insane number, actually.
Yeah.
GOP lawmakers holding firm against the effort. So, I will say this. I may not know much, but I know redistricting because I was so enmeshed in it for so many years.
Yeah.
And typically what you do is you get the census at the beginning of every decade, and then you sit down and you create the most gerrymandered maps, you can. And in states where you have an impartial commission or some sort of impartial structure to do this, they will try to split the baby and create maps. They'll take a Republican map and a Democratic map, and they'll either have to agree to one or the other, or they'll tell people to go back to the drawing board and do something that doesn't actually disenfranchise people. In states that don't have that, where legislatures write maps, obviously those are red states for the most part, you have incredibly gerrymandered maps, which is why you have North Carolina having maps that don't even remotely represent the purple nature of the state. The fact that they're pushing back on this in Indiana, which is red, Kansas, which is red, and in New Hampshire, which is not red, but it's interesting that you have the governor there who's a former senator, so she knows the stakes.
Yeah, live free or die.
Pushing back on this, and they're not afraid. They're not afraid. And it's going to be interesting to see what Trump does. Like, does he actually field primary challenges against these people?
I mean, it's a lot of work.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got.
I mean, he'll do it. I mean, I'm like, that's,
And, you have a senator, I believe he's in Indiana, I may be wrong about that, maybe Kansas, who's 90-something years old or maybe late 80s. And he basically was like, I don't care. Come at me, bro. Like, I'm old and I'm going to die soon. I think it's literally what it's like. I'm not going to bend the knee in the twilight of my life.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting to see, because we don't see Republicans at the federal level doing this at all, but you are seeing Republicans at the state level. And I love the states. I don't think we pay enough attention to the states. The states are the laboratory of democracy in more ways than one. They are deeply important, in some ways more important even than the federal government. But we don't see people focusing on the states and what they're doing enough. All we see is that Republicans like Mike Johnson and Tommy Tuberville are doing everything that Trump wants, but we don't see that there are Republicans at the state level who are like,
yeah,
come at me, bro. Like, don't care.
Yeah. There are more of them, I think, that, well, there are some that obviously are more extreme as well, but I have to assume a lot of them are institutionalists and or aware that if they were to not be in power, that this would set a precedent for the other side to do the same. I mean, I don't know if you know Kirk Cameron, right? I mean, not a senator, an actor from
Growing Pains.
From Growing Pains, is like this far right, super religious wingnut, right? Who's always like on a podcast saying something nuts. I saw a clip of him yesterday being like, wait a second. Now, if the far left president or a far left politician gets into power, do we really want to be doing these things? Like, why would we be opening the floodgates here? And I was like,
wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
So I just, not all is lost. I do think, to your point, I mean, whether it's state senators or governors or Kirk Cameron, these people aren't completely like, brain dead. Like I think realize that if the Constitution does hold, right, and our laws do hold, and we do survive this, that they are setting a precedent and opening up a can of worms.
But I will tell you, if this is how they're going to proceed, New York State better change its constitution, and they better do this now.
Yep.
New Jersey better change its constitution, and they can do this before the 28 primary vote. And there goes my cousin Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan.
Bye.
But all of this needs to happen. Like this whole, I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger on some show the other day, and he was like, we can't have this to Betsy. We can't do this.
I truly,
you know what? Just go away. Go away. You're going to be sitting in your nice house in Bel Air, wherever the hell you are, and you're going to be okay. But it's people like this, the people that we just talked about before in the previous segment, who are that
with money and privilege and a platform to be spewing their stuff.
Yep.
But I'm like, you're not like, and this is the same guy who tells the tale beautifully, by the way, of his father coming back from the war with his tail between his legs and how demoralized and blah, 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 blah. Yes. And imagine if people had fought Hitler from the get-go and not appeased him, what a different life your father would have had. So, I mean, this is where I'm just like, guys, wake up. Wake up. It's time to fight back.
Yep. All right. Well, for our coffee and conversation segment today, Michelle, did you have some clips you wanted to play on other stuff?
Well, we played most of them except for what I woke up to, a text from you. So Donald Trump is in Asia right now, as we saw that he went to South Korea not to see Canada.
You guys.
And then took a Westminster dog show circle in Japan. So he went to see Modi in India. Okay. So he gets up to the podium and he's talking, and he does an impression of an Indian accent that is something else.
Tell you what, Prime Minister Modi is the nicest looking guy. He says, and he looks like you'd like to have your father, like, he's a killer. He's tough as hell. No, we will fight. I said, whoa, this is the same man that I know. But after a little while, and they're good people, and after literally 2 days, they called up and they said, we understand, and they stopped fighting. How is that? Isn't that amazing? Now, you think Biden would have done that? I don't think so. Most people wouldn't have thought of it, but, they wouldn't have thought of it. No, but
most people wouldn't have thought of it, Julie. And first of all,
okay.
The fight. And I'm like,
okay.
I woke my husband up. I was like, you need to hear this. I wish it'd been longer. Honestly, I wish it'd been more than one line, because that would have been amazing.
I mean, he's literally doing an impersonation of an Indian accent.
Mm-hmm. I want to hear more. I demand it. I demand it. Like, he's so weird and racist, but also, like, here's the thing that I hate admitting. Okay, Donald Trump is a racist. He's just switch the letters: rapist, racist, name it, tyrant, whatever. He's also funny, like unintentionally funny, but it's funny. When he does this, it's horrible, but I laugh because it's funny. Now, should I laugh? I don't know. I don't really care, because it's
I'm sure there's 1 billion.
So ridiculous.
I'm sure there's 1 billion Indians who might take offense at the president of the United States impersonating their accent.
So ridiculous that I'm like, I don't know what else to do except laugh, because I'm like, what?
And he thinks people are laughing with him. No, they're laughing at you, not with you. At you, buddy. And let me just do a little fact check here.
Yeah.
Narendra Modi has been in a massive fight with Donald Trump for the last 6 months, if not longer, because he did not give Trump credit for ending their latest skirmish, India's latest skirmish,
right, which is not.
Because Trump did not do anything. Trump thinks he called Modi and people in Pakistan. He's like, you better stop this, and they eventually come to some sort of ceasefire. That, again, these people have been fighting for the last 80 years, but and Modi would not give him credit. Modi's like, you didn't have jack to do with this. So Trump gets so pissed off, he puts 100% tariff on Indian oil.
Which is like undoes years of diplomacy.
Right. And continues to put more tariffs on Indian oil now, basically saying because you're selling oil to Russia. Or buying oil, excuse me. Buying, selling, I don't know what they're doing with oil. So the point is, Modi are not in a good place.
No.
Suddenly, sucking up to Modi, saying he's like a good-looking man.
So weird. Why is he always telling men like how good looking he is? And he's like, ooh, they talk about their penises and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? This is so weird.
My theory. I think Donald Trump.
Okay. Yeah. So that there's this comedian podcaster. His Caleb Heron, I think his name is. Hilarious. Gay, Southern, love him.
Okay.
And he's talked about this. He's like, listen, Donald Trump would have been an amazing gay, like 80s, like old school gay. He would have done a red carpet segment on these award shows, and he would have been standing there with a mic being like, honey, are you really going to wear that? He goes, and it would have been amazing, and I would have watched it every day. He would have been great. Instead, he's destroying democracy, and we're not going to be able to vote, maybe. But like, it's just,
yeah.
He's Timu. He is Timu. P.T. Barnum. You know what I mean? He's dollar store P.T. Barnum, but angry and awful. And he's actually very queen. Miss Banks, yes, he's actually very queenie. It's not right. He is. He's I mean, yeah.
Let me say this. I have been around, oh, there's my dog. I have been around gay politicians who were in the closet, and you've never seen, this is like 20, 30 years ago. And I'll tell you who it is. Jim McGreevey, the former governor of Jersey, who's actually running for mayor of Jersey City now, which is crazy. But
interesting.
Jim McGreevey wrote a whole book about this, that he was gay, he was in the closet, and he went out of his way to go to strip clubs and to be
like overcorrecting,
right? Married two women.
I've seen it too. In my life.
It's
sad.
And I've always thought that Donald Trump overcorrects just a little bit. Just a little bit. And that's just my 2 cents.
It's whipped up.
By the way,
candy head of hair.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, like it makes me sad, if anything else, because I went to theater school. Okay, most of the guys I went to school with, all gay. I love them to death. But there was a few, of course, you meet along the way who are struggling, whether it just be for personal reasons or religious reasons or family reasons. And listen, you just want people to be happy and live their true lives as their true selves. And if they can't for whatever reason, I mean, sometimes imagine what that does to you day in and day out, not being able to be who you are.
His favorite Broadway play is Cats. I'll leave it at that.
Anna Vita and Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, he's a big Andrew Lloyd Webber fan, as am I. But except for Cats, I'm not a big fan of Cats.
Cats is so bad. Cats is the worst one.
Cats is so bad.
Yeah. Jesus Christ Superstar, though, is really the
David
best one.
Letterman had this. Remember when David Letterman had this top 10 list back in the day? Did you ever watch Letterman? Yeah. So David Letterman back in the 80s, I don't know why I remember this, had this top 10 list of the things that you think about right before you go to sleep, like the horrible thoughts that flash through your mind right before you go to sleep. Number one was, what if Cats really is now and forever? Because remember the Cats. This is so I'm going off on a tangent here. But you remember when the Cats, their tagline was "Cats now and forever," and you're like,
yes,
the Winter Garden. It was at the Winter Garden Theater in New York. It played here for forever. And the tagline of the Winter Garden Theater, which was not too far from where Letterman filmed, was "Cats now and forever."
Now and forever.
Right. What if Cats really is now?
It really is for now. I mean, listen, it went away and then it came back very shortly after. They revived it. I went to go see it. I brought Joe with me.
Why?
Well, I had tickets. Somebody gave me tickets, and I was like, okay. Well, I was like, I've actually never seen Cats. I've only seen videos of it. So I was like, I'll go see it. First of all, it's never good when they come up to your seat and want you to be in it. I'm like, first, don't break the fourth wall. I can't. I'm like, it makes me want to gag.
Yeah.
The other thing is we're well into act 2, and there's more cats, and there's new cats. And Joe's looking at me. He goes, why are there more cats? They're introducing more cats. I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. Right. I'm like an hour and a half into this. What's going on? And then you realize at the end, you're like, this is literally just about a bunch of cats in an alley. There really isn't a plot. There's one old cat. She dies. The end.
And somebody sings "Memory" and Donald Trump cries because apparently,
the old cat, the old cat lady,
because apparently memory is
right. It's the song we all sang at our first voice lessons when we were 11. That's memory is the thing. You don't bring that into an auditions. They will tell you to leave. But anyways, that's that. Cats is bad. And
Donald Trump thinks it's good, so that's all.
Donald Trump loves it. Donald Trump loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, I'm glad that we got some laughter in today. I think we all needed it. Hope you are all enjoying the World Series. Julie,
It's a good one.
Yeah,
It's a good
it's
one.
a good one. It's a very good one.
I saw Prince Harry and Meghan Markle there yesterday sitting.
Oh, they were?
Yes, sitting right in front of Sandy Koufax. I was like, why are they sitting in front of Sandy Koufax?
Not the other way around. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you had a lot of celebrity sightings over in LA. I guess they're going back to Toronto now, right?
Are they doing? I think it's 3 games in LA, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like there's a game tonight and then a day off, and then they go back to Toronto. I could be wrong. Somebody in the chat, I'm sure, will tell me. But at least last night wasn't 18 innings. That's all I have to say about that. So
true. Although it was kind of a blowout.
It was. The Blue Jays handed the Dodgers a can of whoop ass, unfortunately. And
Johnny, man, oof.
He didn't have a good game. I mean, he was pitching. He was having a rough time. I have to wonder if some of that was how late the game went the night before. He didn't sleep or get the sleep that he needed to. Hard to tell. Or maybe just, just had a bad night. And they were walking him. I mean, it was just, I can't. Game 5 is in LA tonight. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Eileen. Well, with that said, I will be watching that, Julie. Maybe we'll be around later today. If there's some news, we might do a dispatch. If not, we will see you back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern. Just a reminder, if you're someone who watches Over It, there is no Over It today.
Yes.
Because I have an appointment and I produce the shows, and that's just how it is. We're not doing one today, but we'll be back. On Saturday and next week. So in the meantime, please like and subscribe to the Mayday Network here on YouTube. It helps us immensely. And find us on social as well. And with that said, everybody, you have a pleasant day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.